Welcome to this week's edition of the Q1 Buck Poll. I'm Tim Hart-Haberl. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner. We have a fabulous show today because it's all going to kick off with the biggest buck in the contest, Chris Evenhouse. And I'm telling you, it is so impressive. Of course, this is not it, but it is so impressive to see that deer up close.
Well, I've seen it, and I've seen the score, so we're keeping the score a secret and to unveil the interview.
Oh, absolutely. So we got him on today. We're also going to be cooking up something delicious at the Country Smokehouse. We got our chef. He's going to be making some venison stroganoff.
I'll have that, too. It's lunchtime. Serve it up.
Hang on there, Slim. And then, of course, Mike Parker from the DNR is going to talk to us a little bit. He's going to talk about private land and private land habitat and how you can kind of restore it, but also allow others to be a part of it.
Well, it's kind of neat that the state's gotten involved in that. Instead of going out and making a huge investment and trying to figure it out all on your own, you've got somebody that can help you with that process.
Stay with us. We got all this, and of course, we got Bucks with Buck Hoffner here. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll.
Country Smokehouse was started years ago by myself and Suzanne, and we want to specialize in homemade, old-fashioned sausage and jerkies and things like that. People say it's a destination. They come out for the barbecue. They come out for the homemade sausages. A lot of organic people, natural people want to buy the product because they can't find it in the local stores. We are the largest processor in the state of Michigan. We invite all hunters to come in, bring your deer in, or just stop in and check us out so you can see yourself.
I recommend you come to the Country Smokehouse because you'll never be disappointed.
Trophy Class Real Estate specializes in listing and selling unique recreational, hunting land, and vacant land properties.
Hi, I'm Dan Hoffman. We're the premier real estate brokerage firm for Cabela's Trophy Properties in Michigan. If you're looking to buy, we have great properties like this one.
Here's 24 acres of vacant land and waterfront in Calhoun County. The property includes your very own 7-acre buildable island. There's great whitetail deer hunting and fishing. Own a one-of-a-kind piece of property.
Call us today or go online to see all of our properties.
When a hunter graduates from my new Super Whitetail Boot Camp, he will be in the top 1% of the deer hunters in the country. There's hundreds of little things people need to know to really have the ultimate property. I come in and show people how to put all the right pieces of the puzzle in that property, to hold deer, get more born on the property, make them come by the stands, keep them from the neighbors during daylight hours. I'm Tony LaPratt from Ultimate Land Management, and I'm inviting you to our new Super Whitetail Boot Camp.
Back here on the Q1 Buck Poll, and Big Buck, for people that don't like to get the big shoulder mounts, one of our clients is Camel Creek Hydrographics, and they do a fabulous job on the skulls.
It's a dipping process.
It is a dipping.
I'm always amazed by it. It's so cool to watch that happen.
Next week, we'll show you how the dipping process works. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
I like it. All right. Let's get on with some bucks before we bring in Chris Evenhouse and his big 18-pointer.
All right, let's start out with Donald May in South Central Michigan, bringing in a 10-pointer, the score 48.5. Fishing with Phil Smathers from Coldwater, South Central Michigan, brings in a 10-pointer, the score 47 3/4. And Corey Parker, South Central Michigan's 8-pointer, scores 39.875.
Okay, now it's time to talk about a really big deer. Chris Evenhouse came to the studio, and I had a chance to talk to him. And what's interesting about when hunters come in with their racks and tell their story is, okay, let's have the shorter version, but we never get the shorter version, which is very cool because the passion that Chris and other hunters have shown is just what makes it all worthwhile.
Well, it's one of those things when it's the buck of a lifetime. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's one of those guys.
He's got a lot of bucks on the wall.
Well, he does. But when you shoot the buck of a lifetime, there's no way to go because very rarely do they go up. They don't get to shoot a buck like that. But phenomenal score. Great job, Chris.
Let's take a look at Chris Evenhouse's buck here on the Q1 Buck Pool. Well, we got I'd say the biggest buck in the contest with us right now. Chris Evenhouse is with us. Chris is from Three Rivers, and that is a monster rack, non-typical, very cool. Looks like it's got all kinds of character on the side, on the bottom, on the brow tine. Chris, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Tell me about the hunt, and had you seen this deer before on trail cams?
Yeah, we actually got the first picture of him about the middle of August, and he was living in it's about a 35, 40 acre woods that we hunt. Mm-hmm. And he was living there pretty much ever since August till when I got him. And we got regular trail camera pictures of him every day to 2-3 days. He'd be on the camera.
So hanging around that same area.
Yeah. He didn't, he had a real small core area. He really didn't travel a whole lot from where he was at. It's a real thick, kind of swampy woods where we hunt at.
Okay.
And I was actually getting ready to text my buddy because he was on the other side. We were right in between them. And I looked over and he was 70 yards away coming right at me. And so, I'm just sitting there just shaking like a leaf.
Sure.
And he kept on coming. I watched him for probably close to 20 minutes coming in, and everything was perfect. He came right in. He went behind a tree. And I drew back, and he kept on walking, didn't see me, and he got to about 15 yards and stopped one step away from like a perfect shot. And I was at full draw, and I held it there, and he just stood there just looking for probably close to a minute, and I'm getting to where I can't hold my bow
right,
back.
It's hard.
He kept on trying to come forward on me, and so I had the whole time looking through my peep sight, so I opened up my other eye and looked, and there was a perfect little hole right behind the bush that he was standing behind. And so I thought I could make that shot, and I don't know what happened, if it was just the buck fever or I put the wrong pin on him. I don't know exactly what happened, but I shot, and he jumped, took about 2 leaps, and just stopped and turned around, just was froze, just staring, trying to figure out what had happened. And I couldn't believe. I thought, you blew it. You had him one step away, and probably never see him again. And I knew he couldn't see my right arm from where he was at, and my quiver was hanging on a bow peg on the backside of the tree. So I, was watching him just blindly reach around, grabbed an arrow out of my quiver, and brought it back around, and was getting ready to knock it. I looked, and it was the only field point I had in my quiver, and I could not believe it. I'm thinking, it's over with. I can't put it back in the quiver, and I thought about dropping it, but I thought he's going to see it, and I looked over, I seen my backpack. It had the little cup holder on the side of it, so I slid the arrow real slowly down there, bounced up against the tree, reached back around, grabbed another arrow, and as I'm going to knock it, he started to turn around and come back in a little bit further. And I think he was trying to get downwind, and he didn't know exactly what had happened.
Right.
And that's when I stopped him right in this little hole that I had 30 yards and concentrate and made a perfect shot. And he ran about 40 yards and stopped and turned around again, and then just went down right there.
Wow.
And watched him go down and everything. It was awesome.
Well, probably the most intense thing is trying to reach around and grab an arrow, and then when you do pull out the wrong arrow, it's like, what?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, because
I'm not even carrying a field point anymore in my quiver.
Lesson to be learned: do not carry a field point. And of course, how long did you wait to get down? Then
I was so shook up. I called my dad, and I called my buddy, and he said, "Well, if you got him, I'm coming over." And I mean, it was early. I shot him at about 10 after 6, so there was still a good hour and a half left of daylight at that point.
I will tell you this, that is a magnificent deer, a lot of character. And then you said you had it green scored?
Yeah, he's right around like 205 inches, non-typical.
Very cool. Well, that is a fabulous deer and a buck of a lifetime for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Were you shaking in the tree as much as you were shaking here a second ago? Tell me the story. When you relive the story,
it still gets
you get that emotion
and pumping. Yeah, I mean, it's still every time just talking about him or anything. I mean, like I said, I shook for probably 3-4 hours after the fact, even back at the house, showing them off and everything. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It was buck fever to the max for sure.
Well, congratulations. Everybody would have buck fever with a buck like this. All right, Chris Evenhouse from Three Rivers, one of the top bucks in the Q1 buck pool.
At Outfitters Taxidermy, I do high quality work at reasonable prices. We do it all at Outfitters Taxidermy, from birds, small mammals, fish, deer, shoulder mounts, full body mounts. I pay attention to the details in the mount, like your eyes, the nose, and the way the horns are set. Make sure the measurement's all correct, just like it is when you brought it in. If you're not sure how to cape your deer, I can do it for you, show you how to do it, where to make cuts, where not to make cuts. When you shoot that buck of a lifetime, give me a call at Outfitters Taxidermy.
Hunting, fishing, trapping, Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley.
We got the biggest selection of trapping supplies in West Michigan and the experience to go along with it, so we can teach you how to do everything right here on the spot.
Long guns and handguns for any application, and expert service from someone who lives the outdoors.
Don't forget, we got a great selection of ammo.
You'll find it all at Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley. Stop in or call Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley for the best deals around.
Hi, my name is Vic Havens, and we invite you to stop here at Frank's Sporting Goods in Morley, Michigan.
Get your boots on at Backroad Saloon, the area's #1 country music entertainment, featuring a spacious 5,000 square foot dance floor catered to line dancing. Backroad Saloon, where there's live music on the weekends and special guests. Coming January 16th, it's Big Smo. Tickets are just $12 in advance. And don't forget our New Year's Eve bash. Get your tickets now. Backroad Saloon, the Nashville of the North, the area's #1 country music venue.
Well, before we do some cooking of some venison stroganoff, Big Buck Hoffner, you got some more bucks for us?
You do. You got to have the deer to go with the beef stroganoff.
Absolutely.
So let's rock and roll with Randall Litton in South Central Michigan, shooting a 10-pointer, the score 40.5. Norman Dishman in South Mid Michigan brings an 11-pointer, the score 41.25. And Todd Davis in Southwest Mid Michigan's 10-pointer scores 46.25.
So we're getting a lot of deer in, and don't forget you can register by downloading the form online, q1buckpool.com. That's one way to do it. But we have locations all across the state. Take your deer in, get your picture taken, they'll score it, and we'll get you on the Q1 Buck Pool. Now it's time to cook up some delicious venison with Chef Brent Mitchell. One of my favorite segments of the show, and that's cooking up something delicious. A great recipe today. We're at the Country Smokehouse. We got Chef Brent Mitchell with us. Brent, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
All right, now today we have a porter venison stroganoff.
Yep.
The porter being the beer.
The beer, absolutely. It's wintertime, and porters are great in the winter, so.
All right, well, let's talk about real quick the ingredients. Let's go over them one time.
Well, first and foremost, we have the venison backstrap, cut pretty thin, about 2-inch sections. Seasoned flour.
Okay.
And of course, our porter.
Gotta have the porter beer.
Yep. We have a little bit of mirepoix here. That's carrot, celery, and onion. Wild mushroom blend. Chopped garlic. Chopped rosemary and thyme. You can use dry or fresh.
Now, what will that do for this dish?
That's going to bring out a lot of the earthiness of it, the natural tones of everything that's in this dish, and it just ties it all together.
All right.
We have a little bit of sour cream. We have our beef broth, and then we also have our stone ground mustard. You can use Dijon too.
And we've got our noodles in another pan.
Over here, yep.
All ready to go.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and our pan is extremely hot right now, which you can see. And what I'm going to do is take this couple pieces of this back strap here, and we're going to coat it with some of our seasoned flour. You don't want a lot on here. You want to try and dust off as much as possible. You just need a little, a little coat on there. And what that's going to do is help thicken the sauce later on and also get a good sear on the venison. Right now we'll put it in the hot pan. Once we sear the venison, we're going to remove it from the pan, let it rest a little bit. And then we're going to add our vegetables, the mirepoix, the mushrooms, garlic, and fresh herbs. You only want to leave the venison in there for about 30 to 45 seconds. And then you're going to want to take it out and let it rest. All right. At this point, we're going to add a little bit more oil or butter, depending on how health conscious you are.
I guess I would be butter crowley.
So we have our mirepoix. We're going to add in. Some of our wild mushrooms. Chopped fresh garlic. And then our fresh herbs, rosemary and thyme. And we're going to let this saute for a good minute to 2 minutes until the onions start to get translucent. And then we'll add the beer. Okay, right now you can see the mirepoix, the garlic, the herbs, and the mushrooms. They're starting to turn a little translucent and they're starting to get some caramelization on them. And what's happening on the bottom of this pan, all the extractions from these vegetables and the mushrooms and stuff is called fond, and that's all the best part of, you know, these things in this pan. And we're going to bring that up off the bottom of the pan in a technique they call deglazing, and we're going to use our porter, the beer, for that.
So we poured the beer in, it's bringing everything out of the pan, it's all mixing together. Anything that we should be aware of as we are cooking this overall recipe?
You just want to always keep an eye on the amount of liquid that's in the pan. Like I said, let this one go. It's one of those dishes that you can kind of forget about once you start making the sauce. But always keep in mind that you don't want to reduce it too far, but you don't want to not reduce it either. You know, It's one of those things you want to look for. And I think we all have a good idea on what a sauce should look like. Sure. You know, you don't want it runny and you don't want it coming out, you know, as thick as putty, paste, exactly. You know, glue. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Everything else, just let it do its thing naturally.
Okay.
So at this point, we reduced the beer by probably half. And that's just giving us more flavor. All the malt, the roasted malt, the hops, everything that comes in that beer is now in there, concentrated, and we have a great base for a sauce right now.
Smells good.
So we'll add some of the beef broth here, or stock.
Okay.
We're gonna add our Dijon mustard.
Now how much will you add? Just a little bit?
Just a little bit, right around, and this is another one of those things that's, you know, it depends on the person. Sure. I like a little bit more mustard in my sauce. Okay. I would probably put anywhere from a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons.
All right. Or as many little spoons as you got.
As middle, yeah. Could have grabbed a bigger one.
Okay.
This is cooking. We want to make things look.
Should I take over and kind of mix it around?
Yep. You can go ahead. Yep. And then.
I'm doing a little cooking myself here today. People are thinking, "What the heck?" I do cook at home. I will tell you that.
And while he's mixing that up, I'm going to add some of the sour cream in as well.
Well, I tell you what, you can smell. You can smell
all the aromas.
Beer, the aroma. You can smell everything. All right, so you want me to do it with
there
that?
We go. There we go.
Here's the real way to do it, huh?
He's making fun of my spoon.
Yeah. Hey, I just picked up what utensils we had.
Yeah, so he's mixing that up pretty good. And at this point, again, let it go. Just let it do its thing. Let all those flavors just kind of marry themselves together in there.
So you can really see how it's all thickening up here then.
You know, you can almost forget about it. You know, every 5-10 minutes, come check on it, and you know, then it's done.
We kind of just slipped the venison in case you're wondering.
Right. Yep.
Now it's time to try the port venison stroganoff.
Yep.
Gotta get a few noodles with it.
Yep.
That's a very good sauce. Yeah. I mean, we knew the venison was going to be excellent, but the sauce that we're having with it right now is delicious.
Everything blends together well. You know, you can kind of taste a little bit of the mustard. You can taste the herbs, the mushrooms, even a little bit of the beer. You get that nice roasty kind of taste in the back of your throat from the actual beer. That's what that is.
Pork venison stroganoff with our chef Brent Mitchell. Hey, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
From the Country Smokehouse in Almont. And I will tell you, they do all kinds of things. The reason why the chef is here, they cater, they do dinners, they do things all over the state of Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
And they will take care of you, and that's why we're up here today getting a few tips on cooking here today. All right, I'm Tim Hart Haverhill. You're watching the Q1 Buck Pull. Find this and all the recipes online.
Everything for the sportsman.
DNR Sports Center.
For the hunter, tree stands, bows, guns, and gear, all the top brands.
Right here at DNR Sports Center.
For the fisherman, check out the huge selection of boats, marine supplies, and tackle.
DNR Sports Center.
Full service mechanic for boats, guns, and bows. One-stop shopping, a huge selection, and the best service around.
Come see for yourself and experience the personal service at DNR Sports Center. Everything for the sportsman.
The great outdoors has a lot to offer, and if you're ready to experience it on the next level, Greenstone can help you get it done. We finance acreage of nearly any size, from a hunter's haven to adventurous trails, or even that relaxing place on the lake. Greenstone's loan options make owning land affordable, with terms up to 30 years. And with 36 locations in Michigan and Northeast Wisconsin, we're just a short drive away. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com. Greenstone Farm Credit Services. We finance the great outdoors.
Well, Big Buck Hoffner, how's your season been going?
Well, I've done fairly well. I shot one buck, and I'm kind of hanging in there. Got one tag left, and I'm kind of waiting for that bigger one. But the thing that's kind of cool is I got the boys that coming home, and I've got one son that's never shot a deer before. My goal is to see him bag a buck this year.
All right, well, maybe I'll see it too. Maybe I'll bring the camera out. Thanksgiving weekend?
Yes, it's Thanksgiving weekend, and I told him, I said, it doesn't matter. At 31 years of age, he's been in school his whole life. I said, son, we're not going to make you do what Dad does and wait for that bigger one. If it's got some horns on his head, I got a feeling he's in trouble.
Oh, I'd like to be with him. I think we got to plan that out. All right, we got some more bucks here on the Q1 Buck Pull.
All right, let's start out with Jeff Clemens in the thumb. 8-pointer, scores 37 3/4. William Allen in Southwest Mid-Michigan brings in a 9-pointer, the score 41.5. And Courtney Roy, Southwest Michigan, brings in a 10-pointer with a nice score of 43 3/4.
And I will tell you that I had a chance to talk with Jeff Clemens and Ray Jr. up at Ray C's Extreme, and they're up one of our sponsors, and he's got a nice little buck there, and we had a great time, which you'll see upcoming on the Q1 Buck Pull, the Lapeer County Buck Pull, because we had a great time out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to see a lot of deer before the season's over, and that's what this is all about. That's what it's all about.
All right, let's talk about some land and private land habitat with the DNR's Mike Parker. We're now going to talk about habitat restoration on private lands. We've got wildlife biologist with us. Mike Parker, welcome to the Buck Pull.
Thanks, great to be here.
Well, why is it so important for habitat restoration on private land?
Yeah, that's a great question. Wildlife habitat is really the key to healthy wildlife populations and abundant wildlife populations in Michigan. And if you look at landowner in Michigan, the majority of the state is privately owned. 79% of Michigan is privately owned, and as you come down here to the south where we're at now, 97% of the state is owned privately. So if we're going to address wildlife populations, the things that we're interested in, we're going to have to really have an emphasis on private lands, and we need private landowners to be involved with us to help make that difference.
All right, so what is the first step? So I'm a private landowner. I've got, 100 acres, 20 acres. Is there any minimum? Is there 1 acre? I mean, what's the acreage minimum?
Well, there really isn't a minimum acreage from a landowner perspective. Anybody can help. Every little bit helps to help wildlife. For our programs, we have 4 private lands biologists in the state that are available to help private landowners. We provide technical assistance, in some cases financial assistance for some of our programs. We're generally going to look 20 acres and larger, but folks can certainly call us and we can kind of get a feel for what you're interested in, and then that really lets us know how we can help you. We have a landowner's guide on our website for smaller landowners or folks, happy to do something on their own but really don't know what they should do. And in this guide, it's got all sorts of information about species, about different types of habitat, how do you manage a woodlot or a grassland or a wetland, or plant a food plot, or how do I plant trees and shrubs. All that information's in our landowner's guide. But folks that want to do larger projects and kind of meet our priorities, which vary by region. In southern Michigan, we're focused on grasslands for pheasants and other species that rely on grasslands. We're looking at 20-acre projects that are in areas that have lots of other grassland around them. So again, I encourage you to call your local private lands biologist, and we can have a discussion with you and let you know how we can help you. As you go further north, then our emphasis changes more to deer and grouse and early successional habitat. In the UP, we're looking at deer wintering yards on private land. So again, it's going to vary where you're at, but generally about 20 acres and larger is what we're going to focus on.
Is there anything else that people should know that are private landowners out there?
Well, again, I encourage you to check with our website. We have a lot of programs. There's information on there as far as grants, so different funding sources, and what are the details.
Now, does it cost me anything as a private landowner to have you come out?
No, it doesn't. If you meet the goals of what we're looking for in our area and you're in a focus area, no, there's no charge to it. We'll come out, walk the property, help you develop a plan for it, and again, if it meets one of our programs that we have funding for, we might be able to help you with some funding too.
Sounds great. Thanks for
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Wildlife biologist Mike Parker's been with us. I'm Tim Hart-Haverhill, and you're watching the Q1 Buck.
Did you know that Tire City is more than just tires? Marshall Tire, Albion Tire, and Charlotte Tire are all more than just tires at great prices. We're your complete auto repair center. We're brakes, oil changes, steering and suspension, diagnostics. We're more than just tires. We're your complete auto repair facility. Tire City, Marshall, Albion, and Charlotte.
Coldwater Gun & Pawn, your concealed weapon headquarters. Buy, sell, trade. We do volume so you have selection with new guns arriving daily. Need ammo at the best prices around? Stop into Coldwater Gun & Pawn. Plus, we pay cash for guns or anything of value, including gold and silver, where we pay the highest prices in southern Michigan. Plus, we have DVDs, guitars, gifts, and more. Long guns or handguns, come see our selection today at Coldwater Gun & Pawn. Add style to your bedroom or living room with log furniture from Thurston's Furniture. One-of-a-kind log bedroom sets, dressers, mirrors, easy beds that convert from a couch to a bed. Specializing in custom orders, Thurston's offers a great selection to choose from. Plus, check out our Northwoods Wildlife Print area rugs. Want a camo recliner? You'll find it at Thurston's. Thurston's Furniture on M60 in Homer. Everything you want in log furnishings at great prices. Great show today, I will tell you that, because there was a lot of information and we're getting feedback from all over the state of people saying, I just like because you're giving us a lot of great education and a lot of good information.
What it's all about. It's about deer hunting. Exactly. And it's about getting the information so you become a better hunter, and then it's about bringing in that buck so you can show it off out here right on our show.
Hey, don't forget about Camel Creek Hydrographics. I've been holding that up. The dipping process with Kevin Target. Check them out. They're in Brighton. For Mike Big Buck Hofter, I'm Tim Hart-Haverhill. Thanks for being with us this week on the Q1 Buck Pull. And whenever you're out in the woods, be safe.
Great country for Kalamazoo. Find us on your radio at 102.5, online at greatcountry1025.com, and on your mobile device on iHeartRadio. Kalamazoo's Great Country 1025, powered by Nash.